Jai Gurudev and Namaste and welcome. We have discussed how food is treated as a sacred offering in Vedic rituals, especially in ceremonies like Upanayam and Agnikarya, where mantras, akshat, and ghee are used to purify the food. Could you explain how these elements specifically contribute to the purification of food and its elevation into a spiritual offering, and how do these rituals tie into the broader Vedic concept of food as prasad? Namaste and Jai Gurudev, and thank you for your thoughtful question. In the Vedic tradition, food is not merely seen as physical sustenance, but as a sacred offering to the divine. This concept is deeply embedded in rituals where food is purified and sanctified before it is consumed. Ghee, particularly in rituals like Agnikarya fire ceremony, represents sattva, the quality of purity, goodness, and harmony when offered into the sacrificial fire or used in the preparation of food. Ghee purifies the food. It is considered a divine medium because it is believed to carry the blessings of the gods and enhance the spiritual value of the food. When food is cooked with ghee or when ghee is offered during rituals, it acts as a purifier, removing any negative energies and imbuing the food with positive divine vibrations. It aligns the physical sustenance with spiritual nourishment. Akshat or unbroken rice symbolizes wholeness and completeness. It represents an offering that remains intact, symbolizing the continuity of life and spiritual wholeness. Akshat is often sprinkled over the food as part of the purification process, invoking the divine presence and ensuring the food is free from negative energies. This is important not only for the body's nourishment but also for the mind's purity. Both ghee and akshat emphasize the importance of purity both in the food and in the individual consuming it. These rituals reflect the Vedic belief that food is a gift from the divine and should be treated with the utmost reverence and gratitude. It is fascinating to understand the deeper spiritual dimensions behind these seemingly simple elements as we move to the act of eating. We understand that Vedic mantras are recited to acknowledge and sanctify food. Could you share some specific mantras for the different stages, cooking, eating, and expressing gratitude after eating, and explain their significance? Absolutely, the act of eating according to Vedic tradition is a deeply spiritual practice. There are mantras for every stage of the food ritual, beginning with the preparation, continuing through the meal itself, and concluding with gratitude for the food received. Annam Brahma, Annam Vishnu, Annam Rudra. This is before cooking, that is, food is Brahman, food is Vishnu, and food is Rudra. This mantra is recited before preparing the food, acknowledging that food is divine and an offering of the three main aspects of the supreme creation: Brahman, preservation, Vishnu, and dissolution, or Rudra or Shiva. The intention is to remind the cook that they are not merely preparing food but offering a divine gift that should be treated with respect and care. Then Aham Annayasya Rakshakah. I am the protector of this food. This mantra reflects the responsibility of the cook to preserve the purity of the food and handle it with respect, as they are acting as the guardian of that which nourishes others. It is a prayer to ensure that the food is prepared in the best possible way with love and reverence, and while eating, Bhojanam Shubham Bhavatu. May this food be auspicious and pure. This mantra is said before consuming the food, invoking purity and auspiciousness. It signifies that the food should not only nourish the body but also bring clarity to the mind and uplift the spirit. By saying this mantra, the individual sets the intention to consume food in a mindful and respectful manner. Om Annapurnaya Namaha. Salutations to Annapurna, the goddess of food. This mantra honors Annapurna, the goddess of food and nourishment. It is a prayer for the blessing of sustenance and is often chanted before the meals to invoke the goddess's grace, ensuring that the food provides nourishment to both the body and the soul. Then, after eating, is the Annadata Sukhi Bhava. May the one who has provided this food be blessed with happiness. This is a common and powerful mantra recited after a meal. It expresses gratitude to Annadata, the food provider. This is not just a reference to the farmer but to everyone in the supply chain: the transporter, wholesaler, shopkeeper, and cook. By reciting this mantra, we acknowledge the collective effort involved in bringing the food to the table and express gratitude for their work. This practice aligns with the teachings of Sri Ravi Shankar Ji, who emphasizes the interconnectedness of all beings. Every act of nourishment is the result of collective human effort, and recognizing this creates a deep sense of gratitude and respect for all those involved. The mantra Annadata Sukhi Bhava truly highlights the interconnectedness of all those involved in providing the food. As Sri Ravi Shankar Ji often speaks about, gratitude and mindfulness can transform our daily actions. Could you elaborate on how the philosophy of seva or selfless service integrate with these food rituals, and how does it influence the way we engage with food and with others? Sri Sri Ravi Shankarji's philosophy of seva is beautifully integrated into the way we interact with food. Seva, or selfless service, is the act of giving without expecting anything in return. In the context of food, seva is not just about sharing food with others, but also about preparing, serving, and consuming food in a selfless and mindful manner, serving others with love and gratitude. When we serve food, whether to our family, friends, or community, we engage in seva by offering nourishment. Sri Sri Ravi Shankar Ji often teaches that service is love in action. If we cook or serve food with the mindset of selfless service, we transform the act of eating into a spiritual experience. The key is to do it with a sense of humility and gratitude, understanding that food is a divine blessing that we are sharing with others. And mindfulness in eating is also essential. Eating too can be seen as an act of seva when we approach it with gratitude and mindfulness. Each meal should be eaten with full awareness, appreciating not only the food but also the effort of everyone who made it possible. By taking time to express gratitude before and after eating, we engage in a form of service to the food, to the environment, and to the people who have contributed to the meal. Seva beyond the meal. Sri Sri Ravi Shankar Ji also emphasizes that seva is not limited to food alone, it extends to all aspects of life. By practicing gratitude and mindfulness in our food rituals, we create a foundation for extending those same principles to other areas of life, serving others with compassion, being mindful in our actions, and appreciating the interconnectedness of all beings are the keys to living a life of seva. So, in essence, food becomes not only nourishment for the body, but also a means to practice selflessness, gratitude, and compassion. Can you share some practical ways in which people can integrate these values into their daily food practices? Yes, absolutely. There are several simple yet profound ways people can integrate these values of seva, gratitude, and mindfulness into their daily food practices. Firstly, start with gratitude. Before every meal, take a moment to thank the divine for the food. Recite a simple prayer or mantra like Bhojanam Shubham Bhavatu or Annapurnaya Namaha to invoke blessings and purity into the food. Expressing gratitude before eating helps set a positive tone for the meal. Serve with love when you are preparing food for your family or a larger community. To do with a sense of love and care, cooking becomes a form of seva when done with intention of offering nourishment and joy to others. Approach the act of cooking as a sacred service, not a task to complete. Eat slowly, savor each bite, and avoid distractions. Mindful eating helps you connect with the food and understand its significance as a divine offering. Be aware of the effort involved in bringing the food to your plate and recognize it as a collective blessing. Consider sharing food with those who are in need. Sharing food is one of the highest forms of seva, even small acts of giving. Jai Gurudev. Jai Gurudev, good day and thank you for taking the time to speak with us today. Our conversation today revolves around a respectful way to consume food as per Vedic traditions. Could you begin by explaining the significance of food in Vedic philosophy? Namaste and Jai Gurudev, and thank you for this important discussion. In Vedic traditions, food is not just a physical necessity but also considered a divine offering. The Sanskrit term Annadata translates to the provider of food, and in the tradition, food is often considered prasad, blessed offering. It is said that the act of eating should be done with full gratitude, not just to the cook, but to the entire process and to the every individual involved in the production, delivery, preparation, and serving of the food. In fact, every meal is a blessing, especially in today's fast-paced world, where we may forget the depth of its significance. The Vedic way encourages us to acknowledge the divine presence in all aspects of food, and that is why we begin to end our meals with specific prayers and mantras. That's a beautiful way to look at food. Can you share with us some of the important mantras and practices associated with food in the Vedic tradition? Yes, indeed. There are several mantras and practices that are involved during the various stages of cooking, eating, and even after the meal. The most common mantra that we recite before consuming food is the Gayatri mantra, invoking divine blessings for purity and nourishment. Before eating, a person may chant the Annapurna Sutra, which is dedicated to Goddess Annapurna, the goddess of food. The mantra goes like this: Om Annapurne Sada Purne Shankara Prabhute Nirmalyam Mampuram Sham Yathasa Cha Sarvada. This mantra invokes Goddess Annapurna and seeks her blessings for the food we are about to consume, ensuring that it is pure and beneficial. When cooking, especially in a ritual setting, we offer the food to Agni, the fire god. As Agni is considered the purifier, a mantra commonly used during cooking is Om Agnaye Swaha. This is a simple invocation of Agni to purify the wood, turning it into a something sacred. Agni purifies both the food and the person cooking, making the act of cooking a divine offering. That's insightful. So, in Vedic traditions, food is considered a divine offering. Could you elaborate on the role of gratitude in this context? Absolutely, gratitude is central to Vedic practices, particularly when it comes to food. It is said that the entire journey of food from the farmer's toil in the field to the cook's preparation deserves recognition. The Annadata Sukhi Bhava mantra, which you mentioned earlier, is recited after a meal. It is a powerful way to express gratitude to the one who has provided the food. The complete mantra is Annadata Sukhi Bhavatu. This translates to the may the provider of food be blessed with happiness. It acknowledges the contributions of the farmers, truck drivers, wholesalers, and everyone involved in bringing food to our plates. It is a moment of collective appreciation. In this process, we recognize that every individual who contributes to the food cycle is helping sustain life and should therefore be honored. A prayer for the well being of all those involved in this process is recited, reminding us that food is not just something to consume, but a link in a larger chain that sustains life. It seems that food in Vedic traditions is seen as both sacred and communal. How does the practice of saying Annadata Sukhi Bhava impact the eater? Saying Annadata Sukhi Bhava after eating fosters a deep sense of connectedness with the world around us. It is not just about a gratitude we express for the meal, but also for the interconnectedness of humanity. The act of acknowledging all the hands involved from the soil to the plate cultivates an inner sense of humility and awareness. Moreover, this practice reminds us that food should never be taken for granted. In a modern world where we may consume food mechanically without thought, these prayers bring us back to the essence of mindful eating. This gratitude directly impacts the individual, fostering greater humility, joy, and contentment. The practice also helps in developing a greater respect for the earth and its resources, as His Holiness Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankar Ji often emphasizes. When we eat mindfully with awareness and gratitude, we invite peace into our lives, and the food itself nourishes us on all levels, physical, mental, and spiritual. That is profound. His Holiness Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankar Ji has often spoken about the importance of mindful eating. Could you elaborate on how his teachings influence the way we consume food? His Holiness Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankar Ji teaches us to eat with gratitude and awareness. His teachings emphasize that eating should not be rushed or done in a distracted manner, as it creates stress and disturbs the body's natural rhythm. Instead, eating should be a joyful and mindful experience. He often talks about the threefold nourishment we receive from food: physical nourishment, emotional nourishment, and spiritual nourishment. When we act with mindfulness, we allow the food to nurture all aspects of our being. His approach is holistic. He stresses that food should not only be prepared with love, but also eaten with love and reverence. Additionally, Gurudev teaches that the act of sharing food is deeply transformative. When we offer food with love to others, we create an atmosphere of peace and harmony. A simple prayer, like may all beings be nourished by this food, can invoke a sense of collective welfare and compassion. It sounds like the practice of mindful eating is an act of spiritual significance rather than just physical sustenance. What advice would you give to someone who is looking to adopt this respectful way of consuming food? The first step is awareness. Start by being mindful before, during, and after the meal. Acknowledge the source of your food and the many hands that brought it to you. Even if you are in a hurry, pause for a moment to offer a prayer of gratitude, whether it is the Gayatri Mantra, Annapurna Stotra, or the simple Annadata Sukhi Bhava. Try to eat slowly and savor the food. Avoid distractions like TV or mobile phones while eating. Focus on the act of eating itself and let the food nourish you, not just physically but also mentally and spiritually. Cultivate gratitude in every bite and share your meal with love and compassion. And most importantly, as Gurudev often says, when you eat with right attitude, you create positive energy around you. Every meal, no matter how small, becomes a way of honoring the earth, honoring the people who provide for us, and ultimately honoring the divine presence that sustains us all. Thank you so much for these insightful words. It seems like food, when consumed in a Vedic way, becomes a spiritual practice that connects us to the larger fabric of life. May we all remember to express gratitude and reverence for the food we receive. Absolutely. And I thank you for bringing this important practice to the forefront. May everyone who reads this be blessed with the awareness and the ability to consume food mindfully and with gratitude. As we offer our thanks to all those who contribute to our meal, may we all remember to offer thanks to the Supreme. Jai Gurudev. Jai Gurudev, and thank you.